Ghost of Tsushima movie gets best update yet, from John Wick director, after 2 years of development. Max Payne 1 and 2 remake is ready for production, Remedy Entertainment says. Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will have a voiced main character. It draws the player in that much more, says the game's narrative quality designer, formerly from BioWare.
In Australia, number of women allegedly killed in family violence incidents soars in domestic violence crisis. Children aged 6 months to 5 years will be required to take the COVID-19 vaccine in Brazil. In the USA, FDA issues warning for 26 eye drops due to risk of infection, blindness.
Swiss parts found in Russian-made, Verba portable infrared homing surface-to-air missile, mentes. Suspected Russian helicopter violates Japan's airspace off Hokkaido. The Russians installed a GPS jammer in Ukraine. The Ukrainians blew it up with a GPS-guided bomb. Dutch court sentences Russian businessman to 18 months for busting sanctions targeting Moscow.
Belarus raised the issue of compensation in connection with the postponement of the commissioning of the Belarusian nuclear power plant. Moldova blocks access to Russia's main news agencies. Macron visits Kazakhstan on strategic tour of Central Asia, seeking new friends in uranium.
CFTC pays whistleblowers $16 million in 2023 for mostly crypto tips. In major ruling, Malaysian man wins Rm 697,000 from crypto firm Luno over unauthorized Bitcoin buys. Crypto exchange Bitrix's U.S. shutdown, approved at bankruptcy court. Will Mania star Celeste Barber reveals Netflix has canceled comedy series. Joe Pickett canceled at Paramount Plus after 2 seasons. Art of War and Amy Schumer's memoir are among many books banned in U.S. prisons, as 20,000 books can't be read by Florida inmates. Elon Musk reignites the Zuckerberg feud with a bold dual challenge on Joe Rogan podcast.
Matthew Perry planned to launch foundation for substance abuse treatment before his death. Former General Hospital star Tyler Christopher dies at 50, friend announces. Ireland must end the failed war on drugs, says billionaire Richard Branson.
Joe Biden's concern about AI grew after watching Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Microsoft AI inserted a distasteful poll into a news report about a woman's death. North Korea shuts down multiple embassies. South Korea speculates financial issues are the reason. Japan's yen sinks broadly, as Boj policy adjustment seen inadequate. In Italy, as preliminary estimate of the change in GDP is equal to plus 0.7%. Hamas official Marzouk says, Gaza tunnels built to protect Hamas, not civilians. The UN can take care of Palestinian citizens. Israeli forces shot their own civilians, kibbutz survivor says. Leaked Israeli draft paper suggests forcing 2.3 m out of Gaza. Egypt stations tanks near Rafah border. Israel restored Gaza's internet under U.S. pressure, official says. Netanyahu warns of long war. Israel agrees to allow 100 trucks of humanitarian aid into Gaza each day, says official. Cyprus proposes to establish a sea corridor to deliver a stream of vital humanitarian aid to Gaza. France sues European Commission over primacy of English in EU hiring. Caste-based discrimination is recognized by Ontario Human Rights Commission. Sarawak set to be first state to have ombudsman law in Malaysia, says Juanda.
China warns a certain country is making ethnic bioweapons, as China's top spy agency warns of gene weapons, able to target specific ethnicity or race. UK's NCA calls for possession of 3D printed gun blueprints to be made illegal. Spain offers drones, reinforcement to help Senegal tackle migration crisis.
More than 39 million Bitcoin addresses in profit, despite its price at half of the all-time high. Bitcoin white paper turns 15 as Satoshi Nakamoto's legacy lives on.
Spain's Catholic bishops apologize after report of 200,000 abused. Catholic Church loses landmark case over tactics that shielded from Australian abuse claims.
The European Union agrees to host its data in the cloud of the Oracle. Solana integrates with Google Cloud's BigQuery, enhancing blockchain analytics. Windows 11 adds native support for RAR, 7-zip, tar and other archive formats, thanks to open-source library. Bolivia severs ties with Israel, others recall envoys over Gaza. Israel's Gaza attack beyond proportionality, Norway says. Israeli influencers are mocking Palestinian suffering in Gaza. Chinese companies purge Israel from maps of the Middle East amid surging anti-Semitism in the communist state. The Houthis in Yemen have joined the battle against Israel, as Yemen's Houthis say they launched missiles, drones at Israel.
Donald Trump Jr. rages against fraud trial, with they want death penalty. Top Trump allies which face charges, lose lawyers after failing to pay legal bills. Colorado court hears arguments to keep insurrectionist Trump off 2024 ballot. DeSantis denies wearing heels after being confronted with viral video.
Reddit can survive without search. Company reportedly threatens to block Google. China removes anonymity of bloggers' accounts with more than 500,000 followers. The digitization significantly boosts the demand for physical versions and provide evidence for the Discovery Channel.
High insulin levels directly linked to pancreatic cancer. Higher levels of morbid curiosity are associated with increased interest in conspiracy theories and conspiratorial explanations of events in US-based samples. FDA advisors see no roadblocks for gene editing treatment for sickle cell disease. High compassion individuals tend to sleep better, study finds. Improving deep sleep may prevent dementia, study finds. Anger has benefits for attaining goals. New cancer therapy using antibody could offer a less toxic treatment option, study shows. Atari agrees to buy classic game maker Digital Eclipse for up to $20 million. Ubisoft is stopping online services for 10 titles, including several Assassin's Creed games. Control 2 is in proof of concept stage, confirms Remedy Entertainment.
Benchmark U.S. 10-year Treasury yield could top 7%, commented by the Ned Davis Research. Mexico's economy grows 0.9% in third quarter, exceeding forecasts. In Gen X retirement savings, average household has just $40,000.
McDonald's, Chipotle to raise menu prices in California next year, as fast food wages rise to $20. Orange juice prices hit all-time high, amid bleak production outlook. In Italy, with 330k bars and restaurants, it is a record in Europe. WeWork shares sink after reported plans to file for bankruptcy. Billionaire Red Bull Air just banked a $615 million dividend, reports. Nvidia may see $5 billion hit from early China chip curbs.
Google uses search revenue to strong-arm the Android OEMs into pushing security updates. Samsung's One UI 6 brings auto blocker feature to improve device security. From e-visas to e-payments, Saudi Arabia prepares for 3 million Chinese visitors by 2030. Saudi Arabia clear to host 2034 World Cup after Australia drops out. It had been speculated that Canada's international student boom is ending, as Indian applications plummet.
For first time U.S. has great power competitor that is not Caucasian, commented a U.S. State Department official on China threat. China's electric bus revolution charges ahead for electrification by 2030. 45% fewer dirty vehicles on London's roads, says TfL, through ULA's ultra-low emission zone expansion. Toyota's global sales and production both reached record highs as a result of improved production capacity in each region in response to solid demand. Toyota more than doubles investment and job creation at North Carolina battery plant. Toyota raises factory worker wages after UAW strike settlements.
Humans are disrupting natural salt cycle on a global scale. New study shows 8 new types of forever chemicals found in river linked to U.S. cancer cluster. 1.6 million acres of Great Plains grasslands were destroyed in 2021 alone, World Wildlife Fund says.
Pressured by lawsuits, EPA toughens pesticide rules to protect endangered species. University of Minnesota study suggests humans have impacted how wolves hunt deer.
In Malaysia, Petronas acquires naming rights for Formula One Sepang circuit. BP posts profits of $3.3 billion as oil prices rise again. China's commercial airplane maker, Comac, delivers first ARJ-21, the converted freighters.
In the UK, homeless families forced to live in tents and hotels as temporary accommodation runs out. In the USA, prosecutors announce Supreme Court decision closes door on criminal prosecutions in Flint water scandal. Half of Americans can't afford healthcare, new study finds. Pro-Gaza activist hurls dozens of mice, painted in Palestinian flag colors, into a Birmingham McDonald's, leaving customers screaming because the chain supports Israel. French cops shoot, wound woman making threats, yelling Allahu Akbar on Paris train. Colorado police say armed man killed himself instead of carrying out apparent plan to attack amusement park. Boris Johnson suggested he thought COVID was nature's way of dealing with old people. Black Lives Matter organizer Zara Salim jailed over £30,000 fundraiser fraud. In the USA, the Congress GOP unveils $14.30 billion Israel aid bill that would cut funding to ARS. Malaysia's education minister claims more than 900 Malaysian teens aged 13 to 17 have STDs, reported from 2018 to 2022. South Korea passes new law to protect teachers from bullying parents.
Asteroid dust caused 15 years winter that killed dinosaurs, reported in a study. Just a few mutations are enough to help colonizing bacteria spread, as per study. The New York Times reports a study on the world is becoming more African. India's technology minister Vaishnaw says government will probe, asks company to supply real, accurate information for Apple's threat notifications. The FTC's amended safeguards rule requires financial institutions report security breaches within 30 days. Beijing's top spy agency cracks down on illegal foreign weather stations amid push to stop data leaving China.
In Germany, court bans LinkedIn data protection violations. The Norwegian Data Protection Authority's decision against Meta is extended to the EU EEA and made permanent. Apple's app charges violate EU antitrust law, Dutch agency says.
Chinese fast fashion group Shein buys UK brand misguided. In Malaysia, Tesla and Starlink exempted from local equity requirement because they benefit the nation. Malaysian tycoon Lin Yunling's company, Gamuda, to build $841 million hydroelectric plant in Sabah. KKR completes purchase of publisher Simon & Schuster.
Tesla wins first U.S. autopilot trial involving fatal crash. Engineers create a robotic eye-seeing dog to aid the visually impaired. Drug makers are set to pay 23andMe millions to access consumer DNA. Celtic football fans defy club to fly Palestine flags in Champions League match. Green Brigade banned from Celtic Park as club extends suspension to home matches. Premier League investigating Chelsea over Willian and Samuel Eto'o transfers. Rugby World Cup final gives Germany's Pro 7 Max great ratings.